Hello, this is Sweet Knits, or Amanda. Alright, so you asked for some help about the candy corn dog sweater. Now I've started, don't mind all those are to keep track of my repeat rows. So I did all the repeats for medium-sized dog, which was 102 stitches. So that's what all these are right here, my increase rows and all that. So I am now ready to shape front leg holes. Now it says I'm supposed to be changing colors. I'm just doing it in brown, but I have the yellow here because I wanted a contrasting color, because it says with B, whichever, with your yarn, you're supposed to knit 11 stitches using, and then the next, so I'll be just knitting 11 right now with the brown, and then with the waste yarn, which is I'm going to say is the yellow, which in your case, it's, let's say you're making this like me in just one color. So you'll take another strand of brown instead of picking up a different color or whatever, but you'll be using the same color with whatever you're doing. So whatever your B color is, that's going to be also your waste yarn color. You'll just snip off a little bit of it, I guess. But it says with waste yarn, knit 17 stitches. And then you'll slip the waste yarn stitches back to your left hand needle. So, and then you'll knit across with a B with your regular. So, I don't know. But, and then it says with B, so you're going back and forth. So I'm hoping that using this yellow as I'm going, because this is the first time I'm doing a pattern like this. So we're gonna hope it works. But let's go ahead and start it. So we're knitting 11 stitches, which is the regular. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, and if you by chance hear any music in the background, don't worry, it's just my MP3 player playing. I have to have music or some type of noise when I knit or crochet. Alright, so there's 11 stitches. So with the waste yarn, with my yellow yarn, I am going to knit the next 17 stitches. So I'm just going to hold that little tail there, and we're going to just knit 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oops, I'm about to go overboard. Oh, and that rumbling that was just going by was my neighbor. He owns a body shop garage type deal, and he's always taken one of his works around the neighborhood. Very annoying and loud when you got a 2-year-old. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright, and then we're going to slip the waist yarn stitches back to the left hand. And then knit across with the B. See, I don't get that. I guess you kind of want to slip them back on so you can get back to your working yarn. Let's see, is there any other instructions? Okay, that's just talks about the tail being worked in a short rows, which we're not there just yet. Okay. We'll see. Maybe there is a reason why they wanted the waste yarn instead of just using your regular yarn. That's why I got it in different colors, just to make sure. Alright, so it doesn't say how to slip them back, so I'm just going to slip them back, just plain as day. I know some people, you slip as if to purl, but usually that's going from your left hand to your right, not from your right to your left. I know my stitches are starting to stretch out a little bit. My little circular hook is a little bit too small for 102 stitches, so I had to move it. Should actually do the smaller version of this, but I thought actually doing a medium would help more than to try and do a different size. Okay, so there's those. Now we are going to knit across with the B. So come on, just knit these yellows. Sorry. Try and keep my hands more at my lap. Oh, that little black thing that you see in the corner, that's just a piece of my neckwear. I have this little device that holds my cell phone and it hangs around my neck. So I can watch videos or do anything on my phone hands-free. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. As Shrek says, it's better out than in, I always say. Yeah, just ignore me. About ready to turn up my music so you don't hear me talking. Alright. Almost to the last of those. That's the last of that one. Pull that yarn. There's that one. Okay, now. Alright. With the B, knit the next 46 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, here. Just going to steal one of these since I don't need those anymore. I want to make sure I only do 46 stitches for this next part, so we're going to put that one right there. I'm going to turn up my music a little bit so you don't have to worry about hearing me count. Give me a second. So 46. Alright, there's my 46 right there. Now, I got to work between the brackets, which is the using the waste yarn part for the second leg hole. And then with the B, I'll knit back to the end. So, alright, I am just going to leave a tail, and I'm going to snip. Oops. There it is. I'm going to just snip a little bit just in case I work more with that yarn. I don't know. I know most people say when they're starting a pattern, read through your pattern, make sure you understand. But where's the challenge in that? If you understood a pattern, you probably wouldn't go by it, would you? Anyways, okay. So, we are backing to this. Use 17 for the medium dog. So, 1, there we go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 and 17. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, and then we're going to slip these back to the other side. Go back to where you came from. Sorry. You know, when you're recording on your phone, especially like me, and you're looking through your camera to do this, it's kind of hard. It's like you gotta trust what you're seeing instead of just seeing it with your own eyes. I guess it makes you slow down because it's like, is that really what I'm seeing there? Attention. By the way, did I mention? Sorry, Shinedown is my favorite band. Okay, so we're going to knit these back using the brown. It's ordinary. That they say. Okay, hold on. A window popped up on my laptop that blocking my pattern. There we go. Okay. Alright, that's the end of my yellow. Tighten that up. And then after the leg, we just finish knitting. Okay, next row. Okay, I am back. I didn't do 5 inches or anything like that. I simply just knitted 8 rows. Well, there's 8 rows of brown above the yellow. Okay, so what you will need for this part, I'm cutting the rest of the part out. This is skipping to the leg hole edgings. I just want to get into it and see what we can do. Okay, so I have scissors in case something goes wrong. I got 2 double point needles, size 8 is what the pattern calls for, and I have a size H, focus, ooh, no, barely there, there we go, size H, 5mm crochet hook. This is going to be your easiest way to pick up those stitches. Now what you're going to do is on the right side of your increases, you're going to start with the right side. Just ignore that. Alright, so with your crochet, now actually, hold on, I do need to snip my yarn. I'm coming back to it. I'm not afraid of cutting and pasting my project together, so that's alright. But hopefully when you get to this part, you finished with your working yarn, so you're not using it anymore, or you finished this part. If you're changing colors, you're okay to use whatever color you're using as color B if you're changing your colors. But with the fresh skein of yarn, or fresh thing, alright, now get as close as I can. There's 2 V's. You want to find I think this part would be best in a different color. That's why I did it. But you got the V. Alright. This first leg right here. Mine, for some reason, is going under. Sorry, I had to pull it up so I could actually see it. But go under that first leg right there. Now I can always, stitch in my yarn or whatever, but you'll pull up a stitch. Okay? And then you'll skip that second part of the V, but the next V, the first leg that you come to in your next V, pull that stitch up. And you're right below the yellow. So pull that. Very hard to do it like this. Pull that one up. Okay. So you got 2 just under those. And then the third one. And you're going to pick up these stitches starting at the bottom of your, with the right side facing, working with B stitches directly below your waist yarn. Insert the double point needle in the right leg, and you're going to do this for 17 stitches. So you're picking up all those stitches right underneath your waist. I'm sorry, I gotta sneeze. Ooh. Okay, and then when you're done, after you pick up those 17, you're gonna flip it, and you're gonna take, well, hold on, let's get these 17, and then I'll continue on what they want you to do, because it kind of gets confusing just a bit, just a tad. But go all the way. Now if you want to go ahead and use your knitting needle and do it the same way, that's great. I just thought that, where's that stitch? There it is. That one's hiding there. Hold on. Okay, so got that first leg. Sorry, I'm trying to do this on camera. I'm also trying to look at what I'm doing. Okay, and then that leg is hiding just under there. Good thing I got longish thumbnails. I'd never get that stitch out. But you're just gonna go pick up all these stitches, just one side of the V. It's gonna get tight and it's gonna feel weird, but just keep picking them up. And I'm hoping you can see it clearly. I mean, I see it focused on my phone, but that V, and we're just gonna pick up that first one. Okay. Now, if you decide to use the crochet hook like I'm using, make sure, like if you're using a different size needle, make sure that your crochet hook is the same size. So if you're using a size 7 knitting needle, use your 7, well no, there's not a 7, is there? Like say G's. G, okay, here's a better example. G crochet hook is a size 6. So if you want to use a crochet hook, but you're using a different size, like a size 6, your knitting needles need to be a size 6 also. So whatever size your knitting needles are for your project, your crochet hook needs to be that same size. I'm okay. I think, well, actually, for just picking them up, you're not really knitting them. So you could use a different size. I would go for bigger probably. And just, you know, when you slip on your stitches, you might have to tighten them up or whatever for your first row after knitting them. But you should be fine. It should work still. And really, who's going to know the difference if you used a different size needle or a hook? I don't think any dog can say, "Hey woman, you did this wrong. Do it again." Sorry. Anyways, okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so once you got the first 17, it's easy to do this way. Go to the butt of the crochet hook and just slip them. Now, your stitches are going to be twisted, so you can either retwist them back or, well, I twisted it, didn't I? You could either twist them now, twist them later. I'm just gonna toss them overboard. Just simply let them fall. But before I let them fall, my knitting needle is right there to catch that stitch. And this is why I think it would be okay if you use your bigger crochet hook to do this part of it. You'd have to work a little bit more, but your stitches would fall easily on your knitting needle. And since this is just pick up stitches, you haven't knitted anything yet, I think it'll be okay. You can adjust them before your first row by changing different sizes or whatever. And that, okay. That is the first 17. All right. So, you want to turn it around. In this row above the yellow. Now you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to pick up. Let me find my stitch here. Okay, there's your first V. Well, there's the first V. So you're going to pick up that first leg. Just like you did on the other side. It's always going to be that first leg that you see of that V, whichever direction you're going in. And you'll grab your working yarn and you'll do the same for all 17. I know my working yarn is kind of in the way there, but that V. Okay, and when in doubt, I noticed this. When you lay your hook down right below what you're working on, you can tell that your new stitches line up in the middle of that V of the yellow, or of your previous row. So that's one way to know that you're getting the right stitches, is you actually just make sure that they're coming out of that middle of the V. And it was the same way the other side, it was coming out of that middle. So as long as it's coming out of the middle, it'll be good. And now I'm using some wood. These are wood knitting needles I got off of wish.com. Very cheap for like the whole set from like 0 to 13, I think. And I paid $5 for them. And each size has like 5 needles with it. They're very good and hard to break. I would not say impossible because I have broke one. I was going one way, it was going another, and it snapped. I could probably fix it with a little bit of glue and some tape for a while. I rarely use that needle, so I just set it aside. I don't even know what project I was working on when I broke it. It obviously didn't matter much. I mean, I never replaced it or anything, and it still broke to this day. And it's been about 3 years. But if you need double point knitting needles, wood knitting needles, they're very good, especially for working for slippery yarn. This actually holds your yarn a little bit better. I do have a set of metal or aluminum or whatever they use these days for knitting needles. I have a set of those, but they seem a little bit too slippery for this. You kind of need something with some grip. Okay. Oops. Grabbing that wrong stitch there. Give me just a second. I just got a notification that my phone's dying. Gotta adjust. There we go. Now I can finish this with you. Okay. Almost got them. Now it's not wanting to focus that much, is it? Maybe if I stayed at a distance, it'll be better. We already know we're going for the first leg of the V that you come across, and making sure you skip that second one. You need that second one or your stitches will be way too close. And you might actually end up with more stitches than what you need. That should be my last one. Oops. Don't need the yellow. Alright, now let's do a quick count. Or quickish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright. 17 stitches. Get my other knit-in needle and just slide them off the butt. Oh, this yarn. I just go that way. I see that I got a little bit room on the back side of the stitches. As long as you get them, your goal right now is to get them from the crochet hook to the knitting needle. It doesn't matter if they're twisted or anything. Your just goal is to get them on the needle. We can twist them and fix them in just a second. Alright, so now we got all those stitches back on there. So you got your leg stitches on there, and then the next step, once you get all your stitches, is to carefully remove the waste yarn. Well, I'm not sure what easier way to do it. Let's see. We joined it from this side. Let's see. On out there. Okay, I just got my yarn needle to help me out. Since you picked up those stitches before and after the yellow, it doesn't matter about the yellow. You're not dropping any stitches. Although I would think that there's an easier way to do a leg instead of knitting a row and then removing it. I mean, why not simply, instead of doing it this way, if they want you to knit a row, just, you know, put it on a set of, take some extra needles or a stitch holder and just hold them there. I don't know, I was just watching some other videos about holes, and that's what they did. They, you know, they skipped all these stitches instead of knitting them and then going back and destroying it. They just skipped the stitches, put them on, you know, they would stop like over here, put these stitches on a holder, and then join in another ball of yarn to do the rest, and that's how they would do it. But you know, this way it's okay. Just this part right here, removing it. I wish I could just pull it out. You know, it's not like that one. There's been videos about fixing clothes, and they'll do a crochet stitch like thing. Just take out one stitch and the rest of it pops out. It would make it easier to do it that way. Anyways. Alright, waste yarn is gone. So now you go and you do round 1 of your leg. So you'll just, I'll get back to you. Okay, so reading it more carefully, like word for word, as slow as possible, and double counting the stitches. Right now, I have like 34. And it's saying to pick up the stitches at the gaps. So you'll pick up a stitch over at this end, right here, and you'll pick up a stitch over here, pretty much where the yellow was. That stitch right there in the middle, you'll pick that up, and this one way over here, you'll pick that up to close up your gap, and then you'll start just knitting it around. And then I guess the next 7 rounds, no, sorry, for a medium dog, for the next 10 rounds, you will do your rib stitch. Knit 1, purl 1, bind off, and you're done. Alright, let's go ahead and do this now. Okay, I got more needles. So, how about we go ahead and we want to go ahead and knit in the round. So we're going to go ahead and pick up that first stitch right there. I'm going to go ahead sorry, I didn't realize I was completely out. Okay. Now, where's that yellow at? And we'll shove that, by the way. That's the one that we joined with. We'll just shove that inside. We can tie it off later. Alright, so that's the row that we're at. That's where the yellow was. So we'll just pick up that right there. Sorry. Again, I'm out of whack. Okay. So, you want to pick up where that yellow one was. So, there's the row that we're, right? Here's the row that we're in. This is where the yellow was. So this V, this part of the V right here, just do like we did before. Just pick it up, and we're just gonna slip it on that. But I'm going to put a place marker right there, because we're still going to call that the end. So we're going to say that that's our first stitch. Actually, okay, we're going to do it differently. I'm going to do it differently. You can do this however you want. Just make sure you have a stitch marker handy to mark the beginning of your rows. And since I got so many of these needles, and I picked up that stitch, how about we knit the stitch? So we're going to put it on that hook, our new one. Oops. Got that going all over the place now. Pretty much, we're going to knit that one twice. So I already picked up the stitch. Okay. And I just slipped it on this new one. And we're just going to knit it. If I can get that. There we go. Whew. Okay. Now that one I had incidentally already twisted. That was this stitch is the first one. Can you see it? Yeah, there we go. This stitch right here is the first one that we slipped on. So just knit it. Now look at that one is twisted, so I'm just going to turn it around there. And that's it. Well, I guess we want to... No. Okay, so this round, after you pick up your stitches... See, that one's good. After you pick up your stitches, this is the first round, so you're just going to knit all the way around. Make sure you turn your stitches if they need to be turned, or leave them if they need to be left. I meant, like, if they're good, if they're not twisted, don't worry about it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go ahead and do one more. So there's 9 on that one. Pick up a new needle. You can put this on however many needles you got. You just want to do 3 or 4, or you got like 5 sets of them and every stitch wants to be on a different one, that's fine. As long as they're divided evenly, or evenly enough. I know people say divide them evenly, but you never... Making you do the math. Right now, that first needle is 9 stitches. So, I like to be told how many stitches to put on each needle, so I don't have to do the math. Because I like my stuff evenly on my needles. I don't like it when I got a odd number on one needle and an even number on another. Especially when they say divide them evenly. Sometimes it's not even. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches on that one. So, new needle. Gonna come around here. And we're going to find that third stitch there. Right there. I don't know know if you saw that. Yeah, this, just ignore that. That was from when you went from this side to the other side. They should have had you pick up that piece. They should have actually had you pick up all these stitches beforehand. But I guess we will all live. I'm going to now knit it onto this one. Or at least pick it up, I guess you can say. Because that would be that, and then I guess that is knit actually. Double knit, the edges won't hurt anything. Like I said earlier, the dog's not going to know any difference. And I don't think anybody's going to come and admire the stitch count. It's more like, you know, how the stitches look. Are they tight? Are they uniform? You know, how the color changes come out. Unless you get another knitter coming. Then you might want to make sure your stitches are good and your count's really good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. And I got one more needle here. So I'm putting my stitches on 4 needles. I'm pretty sure I got more needles, but I think 4, yeah, I got more, but 4 is going to be enough. Because you always want a spare one, of course, to do the dirty work of the knitting. I am just doing this first row so you can see. I'll show the next stitch. I haven't been paying attention to how my camera's been recording, but that stitch is twisted right there. So I just slip it there. That's it. And look at that, 4 needles, and they all have 9 stitches on them. So, and that's gets me back to the beginning. As we said, this first picked up stitch right here, this first pickup stitch right here was going to be our first stitch in the new in row 1. So you are ready for your round through 10. 2, sorry. Round 2 through 10 for a medium dog is knit 1, purl 1. And then you will bind off, and then you will do the exact same to the other side. I really, really hope this video has helped you out. Good luck. Have fun. Any questions? Now that I know what we're both doing, kind of, you can let me know, okay? Thank you for your time and patience. Good luck and have fun.